Hello, welcome back to Leslie's Baking Basics. We're on episode 5. Can you hardly believe it? Outside today is beautiful sun in Washington State. All the smoke is gone, so baking will be fun today. We're going to be doing tea cakes today, a simple 5-ingredient recipe. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to me in the last 4 episodes and who has followed me on Facebook. So let's get baking. We're back in the kitchen, and here you see below the 5 ingredients that we're going to be using to make our tea cakes. Now, tea cookies have a couple different names that you might have heard before. Russian tea cookies, regular tea cookies, or Mexican wedding cakes. So all 3 of those might come up in a recipe that you might see, but the recipe I'm using is for regular old Russian tea cakes. Okay, so 2 new utensils we're going to be learning about today. Number 1, sifter. You can use this for more than just sifting. Some people use it as a strainer for macaroni. Today I'm going to use it to sift the powdered sugar that's in the recipe. So we're going to do that. Second one is a small food processor. Now we're going to be using pecans in this recipe. Some people are going to be liking to use a food processor to smash the pecans, but for the kids we're going to do 2 different kinds. We're going to use this, and we're also going to be using one of these, a rolling pin. This is a mini rolling pin, and I'm also going to be using a small Ziploc bag. So we'll see about that, and that's great for kids to use. This recipe is so easy. We're going to be combining the first 5 of the ingredients all together. So now we'll measure out what each ingredient is needed and put it into the bowl. So the first ingredient in our recipe is butter. So we are going to need 1 cup. And so these butter cubes I have are pre-measured 1/2 cup each. So I will need 2 of them to put them into the bowl. Now, a tip and trick we have already to start. Do not throw away the wrapper of your cubed butter, because we'll find out what we're going to do with it later on in the recipe. Here's our sifter. We're going to be sifting the powdered sugar into the bowl to make it easier for the lumps to come out in powdered sugar and for it to mix properly. Remember to keep any dry ingredient that you're going to be adding aerated. So now we're going to put in 1/2 cup. So we'll take our 1/2 cup, measure it into our measuring cup, tap, 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 equal it out. Do you see some lumps and bumps in there? Let's watch what happens when we sift it out. It's coming out light and airy, and you're seeing the balls that are left over. You can take your spoon if you like and make it go through quicker. As you can see, the balls that are left over there would have come in clumps into our cookie dough. So we're glad we used the sifter. To get it all in, let's use our spoon and make those balls get flat. Tap the bottom and continue to sift. There, we have our 1 cup. All finished. Now onto the 3rd ingredient. So the 3rd ingredient is an ingredient we've used in all 3 recipes so far, and that's regular unbleached white flour. This will be the base that holds all of the cookie dough together and gives it a good consistency. So let's measure out 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. Aerating the flour. This old friend of mine, the 2 cup with the spout, I'm going to be using that. It's my favorite. Nope, not enough yet. Perfect. Into the bowl. Nope, not done yet. 1/4 cup more flour. I hope you kids are baking with your moms and enjoying this YouTube channel. You'll like these cookies. They're really good. Quarter more. That's it for the flour. This recipe calls for pecans. They're a very delicious nut. I know some of you have nut allergies and you can omit this from the recipe, but we're going to be using these to add the extra flavor. So now we're going to use a new item to show how we can ground some pecans. It calls for 1 cup. So now we're going to grind the pecans. We're going to use 2 different methods, and it'll call for 1 cup. This would be wrong way to use the pecans. One cup. That is the wrong way because they are not ground. So we'll see how much we need to use for 1 cup. Let's do it, kids, now. Let's have fun. We're going to take our bag. We're going to put a cup of pecans in there unground. This is my tip or trick, everyone. Rolling pin and smash! Yeah, kids, have fun doing this in the kitchen. Yeah, smash, 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 smash. Who doesn't like to get out some extra energy in the kitchen? Smashing pecans. Let's see what a 1 cup of pecans that I showed you earlier comes out to be when they're ground. That's not 1 cup. We need more. Let's add them. Ready, kids? And pound. Ta-da! Ready to go into the bowl. Now we use the other new piece of equipment that we're using in our kitchen. It's going to be the small food processor. This is easier, moms, for all of us that don't want to take the time to pound it out, but it's going to be taking the same measurement as it did before. So let's start with a 1 cup and see what that gets. This has a pulse option. We can make it fine or large pieces, whichever you prefer. Put the lid on and pulse. That's not right. A little technical difficulty. That's why the kitchen and bake with me is really exciting to watch. So let's pulse. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that so much quicker? How's that look, everybody? One more time. All done. Let's measure it out. Okay, it's all done. Let's take the lid off and pour it into the cup. Ooh, that came off easy. That looks good. What do you think about that? Do you think that's enough? I don't think so. Perfection. Let's add it to the bowl. Adding our pecans into the bowl now with only 1 ingredient left, and that will be vanilla. Here's our vanilla. 2 tablespoons vanilla. And that's it for the ingredients. The next process will be stirring. Let's start out with a fork to stir it with to get everything combined, and then we're going to use our hands. As you can see, it's starting to get a consistency with this fork into a ball. Now let's use our hands for the finishing touch. Be sure your hands are washed, all you kids and adults. It may seem like a very moist dough, and that's okay, because we're going to be rolling it into balls. There's a complete mixture. That's exactly how it's supposed to look like. It will be a little bit soft, so don't be worried. Now let's preheat our oven to 325 degrees. And be sure and turn your oven light on so you can see it baking. Okay, it's time for the tip and trick of today. Remember I told you to keep your butter wrapper from the cube of butter that we used? Well, this is why. We're going to actually use it to grease our pan. Here we have our cookie sheet, and watch what we do. We take a little bit of the butter that's left on there. And we're going to grease our cookie sheet with it. It's a good way to use all the butter and not waste, and also a great tip for your young kids to try. Okay, I'm going to take my hand and form a ball with the dough. It's going to be about a teaspoon size. Take it, we're going to roll it into a ball and place it on the cookie sheet. That's going to be great for you kids. It's going to be fun rolling them into balls. It's very easy. If a tip and a trick that you might want to know, if the cookie sticks to your hands, the tip is to spray your hands with some Pam. And that way the cookies won't stick to your hands. But otherwise, have fun. Here we go. Here we are. This is what it looks like when we're done. Thanks to Cindy, my helper, for rolling the balls. The oven is ready. I heard it beep. So now we're going to put them in and cook it for 20 to 25 minutes. See you back in 20 minutes. Hey, timer's off. Let's take them out. Be sure and put a hot pad down. Let's look at the bottom. Ooh, golden brown. Now, remember, they need to cool before we put the powdered sugar on. But as I told you last time with the scones, things continue to bake while they are on the cookie sheet. So these are done now, so I'm going to take them off right away and put them onto a cooling board. While these are cooling, we'll put the other batch in the oven. So we have the sugar into the bowl, and now we're going to roll the cookies. This is the fun part, kids. Take them, roll it in the bowl. Repeat that process until all the cookies are done. We're at the end now, and I'm going to do a final dusting of powdered sugar. Don't they look pretty? Let's put them over to the table. So here we have our tea cakes all done and plated. Thank you. Let's try them. They're so warm and melt in your mouth. Hope you enjoy them as much as I do. All right, everybody, that's episode 5 done. Thanks for tuning in to Russian tea cakes. That was a really easy recipe that all of us can learn. It's quick, it's great for weddings, and it's great to have around. So from my kitchen till yours, thanks a lot. I make it, you bake it.